Hello guys, we'll go to the next chapter. The next chapter is called trigonometry. First, trigonometric ratios of acute angles. Before we begin, I want to teach you how to label the side. For Pythagoras, we label the sides as A, B, and C, right? For trigonometry, we will not label it as A, B, and C, but instead, this one. So let's say I have an angle right there. We call it the angle of theta. And then when you cross the angle to the sides, you'll have the opposite side. So we call this as the opposite side. And then when you have right angle, the side in the opposite of the right angle will be the hypotenuse sides. We call it as hype, and then the rest will become the adjacent. So this is how you label the sides of a right triangle. And also trigonometry, just like the Pythagoras theorem, it only applies for right triangle. And then next is I have an example like this. I have a triangle of ABC and then right angle at C. And then I have the length of BC equals to 12, AC equals to 5, and AB equals to 13. And then from the diagram above, we can determine the ratio between two sides like this. Opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, and opposite over adjacent. So before we begin, let's label it first because we have theta right there. That means the opposite sides will become the opposite. And then because we have this 90 degree, the opposite sides will become the hypotenuse and the rest will become the adjacent. So to find the ratio of the two sides, we only have to input the value. Let's say the opposite is 5 and then the hypotenuse is 13. So the ratio of the opposite and hypotenuse will become 5 over 13. Adjacent over hypotenuse will become 12 over 13 and the opposite over adjacent will become 5 over 12. Okay, so this is called the ratio between two sides. And this ratio is called trigonometric ratio. Okay, let's summarize. When we have a right triangle like this, we can label it as the opposite sides, adjacent sides, and hypotenuse sides. The three main trigonometric ratio is this one, sine, cosine, and tangent. For sine, the formula is SO, the cos is K, and the tan is TOA. That means the sine is the ratio of opposite sides and hypotenuse sides. Cos is the ratio of adjacent sides over hypotenuse sides. And the tangent is the ratio of the opposite side and the adjacent side. Yeah. So you can memorize it as SO, K, TOA to make it easier to memorize. Next, we have the additional trigonometric ratios, which is cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So basically, cosecant is the reverse of the sine. So the formula will become hypotenuse over opposite. And the second is the reverse of the cos, and the cotangent is the reverse of the tangent. Okay, let's take a look at example question 1. In triangle ABC, angle ACB equals to 90 degree. That means I think we have to draw the triangle first. It will be like this. This one is the C, this one is A, this one is the B, and the C is 90 degree. Okay, it's already made. So this one is 17, AC equals to 8. Okay, so before we begin, because the question wants you to find the ratio of the sides, I think we better find the BC first. Okay, so we'll use Pythagoras theorem for this one. 8 square plus BC square equals to 17 square. Or if you remember the triple Pythagoras, you can use it also. This one is 289 minus 64. So BC will be square root of 225. So BC equals to 15. Okay, after we find the BC, I think we should label it in the image also. Okay, so let's do question A. For question A, the question wants you to focus on the angle A. So the angle is right here. It means this one will become the opposite, this one is the hypotenuse, and this one is the adjacent. Okay, so if the question wants you to find the value of sine, you have to use the formula sine A equals to SOH. Remember, SOH means opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is 15 and the hypotenuse is 17. So this is the value of sine A. Then the value of cos A on the ratio of adjacent over hypotenuse will be 8 over 7. Okay, that is for sine A and cos A. For the next one, the question wants you to, oh my bad, should be B. The question wants you to find the sine B and cos B. Okay, because the angle is changed, that means the label also changed, guys. So the angle will be this one right now. This one will become the opposite. This one is still hypotenuse, and this one will become the adjacent. Okay, the question wants you to find the sine B. Sine B is opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is 8. Hypotenuse is 17. And then the question wants you to find the value of the cos B also. Cos B equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Equals to adjacent is 15. Hypotenuse is 17. There you go. This is how you do it. Okay, next is example question 2. In triangle ABC, ACB is 90. Draw it first. Wait. Okay, it's like this, and then AB equals to 12, and then the value of sine A equals to half. Okay, so the question wants you to focus on the angle A. So angle A is right here. Let's label it first. This one is the opposite. This one is the hypotenuse, and this one is the adjacent. Okay, so for this question, we only have the hypotenuse, so maybe it will be a little bit hard. So we have sine A. Sine A equals to SOH. So this one is the opposite over hypotenuse. Because we already have the value of sine A, we can replace it by half equals to. We don't know the opposite, but we do know the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 12, and then you cross multiply. So 2 opposite equals to 12. So the opposite equals to 12 divided by 6. Sorry, 12 divided by 2 equals to 6. So from this calculation, we already know the opposite, and that is the length of BC. So BC is 6 centimeters. Okay, next, let's try to find the adjacent. For the adjacent, we can use Pythagoras theorem. So adjacent is AC squared, and then you add it with 6 squared. It has to be equal to 12 squared. Okay, so AC squared equal to 12 squared is 144 minus 36. So AC squared equals to 108. So AC equals to square root of 108. AC equals to 6 square root of 3 centimeters. Okay, so this is how you do it when the question is simple. Okay, next is example question 3. For this one, the question didn't give you the information about right triangle, either the sides or the angle. So I think for this one, we have to create the triangle by ourselves. Yeah, like this. And there is no ABC. That's okay, but we have angle theta. So let's say the theta is right here. If the theta is right here, that means this one is the opposite, this one is the hypotenuse, and this one is the adjacent. Yeah. So we have sine theta equals to 3 over 7. That means the ratio of the opposite side and the hypotenuse side, because the formula for sine is so, it means this is the ratio of the opposite side and the hypotenuse side. Yeah, is 3 over 7. I can tell that opposite is 3x because 3 is not the actual measurement. So I let it as 3x and the hypotenuse as 7x. Okay, and then I want to find the adjacent using Pythagoras theorem. So we have adjacent square plus 3x squared equals to 7x squared. So the adjacent square plus 9x square equals to 49x square. And then I will move the 9x square with 40x squared here. And then I will move the square. We will have square root of 40x squared. And then when we simplify, for the 40 we will have 2 square root of 10. Then for the x square we will have x. Okay, so we already have the adjacent. The adjacent is 2 square root of 10x. And the question wants you to find the value of cos theta. So cos theta equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 2 square root of 10x over hypotenuse is 7x. You can cross out the x at this point. So that's the value of the cos theta. And then the question wants you to find the value of sin theta also. That's TOA. Opposite is 3x. Adjacent is 2 square root of 10x. You can cross out the x of this and you will rationalize the denominator. So you find your 3 square root of 10 over 20. The final result. Okay, next, we're talking about special angles. For special angles, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them, both in degree and radian units. Yeah, so for this chapter, I think we will talking about the degree. Yeah, most of them is degree. But if you want to know how to convert the degree into radian, I think we have to memorize this. 180 degree is 5 radian. Yeah, so to convert it, you only have to use the ratio. Okay, let's take a look at example question 1. In triangle ABC, ACB is 90 degree. So it will become like this. This is the C, this is the A, this is the B. AC is 8 centimeters. We don't need to write down the unit. Become faster, guys. So CAB is 30 degree. We need to focus on this angle. For this angle, this one will become opposite. This one will become the hypotenuse, and this one is the adjacent. Okay, the question wants you to find the line of AB and BC. Now let's try to find AB first. So AB is hypotenuse, and also we know the adjacent. So we have to choose the formula that will use adjacent and hypotenuse. I remember the formula of cos. So I'm going to write it like this. Cos 30 degree, because the angle is 30 degree, you have to write it like this. You cannot write it as cos theta anymore, yeah, because the angle is already given. The formula of cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the value of the cos 30 can be seen in the table. It's square root of 3 over 2, so you can replace it by square root of 3 over 2. The adjacent is 8, the hypotenuse is us. Okay, and then you cross multiply square root of 3h equals to 16. So h equals to 16 over square root of 3. You have to recognize this. Okay, so the h equals to 16 over 3 centimeters. Okay, that is the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is AB. So this is the length of AB. And then for the length of BC, you can use Pythagoras, or you can use tangent if you want. Tangent 30 degree. Why do I pick tangent? Because we need to find the opposite, and we do know the adjacent. Yeah. From the table, you can see that tangent 30 is square root of 3 over 3. Opposite, we don't know yet, but we can say it's BC over adjacent is 8. And then we cross multiply, we have 3 BC equals to 8 square root of 3. That means BC equals to 8 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, next is example question 2. For this one, the question is a little bit complicated, but let's label it first. First, AB we have 8, AD we have 8 square root of 2, and then 90 degree at B and D. Okay, ACB is 30 degree already in the image. Find the size of the angle theta. Okay, so first I think we need to take a look at this triangle. Let's take a look at this triangle first. Maybe I should create this. Now this is A, this is B, this is C, this is 30 degree. Okay, first let's take a look at this. Okay, so we have A, and then let's label this first. This one is the opposite. This one is the hypotenuse. This one is the adjacent. For this triangle, I want to find the hypotenuse, because if we know the hypotenuse, we can use it to or for the other triangles. Yeah. So for this one, I have O. To find H, so OH, we use sine 30. Keep in mind that you have to write it correctly, or else you will have difficulties later. Yeah. So this is all over H. Sine 30 is R from the table. Equals to opposite is 8, and hypotenuse we don't know yet. But you can label it as AC. And then we cross multiply, we have AC equals to 60. Okay. So we already have AC at 15. If AC is in, next, I think we have to see this triangle. Look at this triangle. I don't want to draw it again, so let's do it like it. This one is the opposite, this one is the hypotenuse, and this one is the adjacent. Okay, so we know adjacent and hypotenuse. I think we have to use each, that means cos. Yeah, so cos theta equals to A over H. Okay, so cos theta equals to A. The A is H squared 2, and the H is 16. So cos theta equals to H squared of 2. You can cos out this as square root of 2 over 2, and then the theta. Okay, I want to teach you how to write it correctly. So when you want to find the theta, you can write it like this before you find the value. Yeah, cos inverse of square root of 2 over 2. And then to find the theta, you only have to see the table. In the table, cos 45 is square root of 2 over 2. So the theta is 45 degree. There you go. Okay guys, next is trigonometric ratios of general angles. If we already learn trigonometric ratios of acute angles before, this time we will learn trigonometric ratios of general angles. General angles means it can be more than 90 because acute is less than 90. This time we will learn the trigonometric ratios for angles maybe more than 90 or less than 0. Okay, so first I want to teach you that positive angles in Cartesian will be shown like this. Yeah, so it starts from x positive axis, it's 0 degree, and then it will increasing, the angle will be increasing as the direction of the rotation is anti-clockwise. Yeah, so from 0 you can move like this, it will become 90. That means when you need 30 degree, it will be this 30 degree, but when you need 150 degree, you will go like that. Okay, so this is the positive angles. I think you have to memorize this well, because later we will talking about negative angles also. Next is trigonometric ratios for an acute angle. We already learned this before. For acute angle in Cartesian diagram, acute angle will be in the first quadrant. So we call this the first quadrant. Yeah, it's in between 0 and 90 degrees. For the first quadrant, if I create a triangle like this, the theta will be right here. The theta will be right there. And since the value of x is positive and the value of y is positive, then the value of the sine will become, remember, so opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is y, the hypotenuse is r. Both of y and r has a positive value, so the value of the sine is positive also. For the cos, adjacent over hypotenuse, x over r, the x is positive, that means the value of the cos is positive. And then the tangent is y over y over x. The value of y is positive, the value of x is positive. That means the value of the tangent will be positive also. Yeah, so all of the trigonometric ratios in the first quadrant will be positive. And then for the second quadrant, it will be an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle lies in the second quadrant as the angle is in between 90 and 180 degrees. Okay, the image or the graph will be like that. The theta is measured from the 0 degree until the second quadrant. Yeah, because in the second quadrant the value of x is negative and the value of y is positive, that means the value of sine will be positive, the value of cos will be negative because of the x, and the value of tan will be negative because of the x also. Yeah. Next is the trigonometric ratios for a refractive angle. Refractive angle can be in the third or the fourth quadrant. For this one, we are talking about the refractive angle in the third quadrant or in between 180 until 270. Okay, in the third quadrant, the value of the x is negative and the value of the y is also negative. That means the value of trigonometric ratios of sine in this quadrant will be negative y over r. Because the y is negative, that means the value of the sine is negative. The value of the cos also negative because of the negative x. The value of the tan will become positive because negative y divided by negative x will give you positive value. And also the same for the refractive angle in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, we have x as a positive value and y is negative value. That means the sine will become negative, cos will become positive, and the tangent will become negative. In summarize, we have this. The value of the trigonometric ratios in the fourth quadrant. In the first quadrant, all of them will have a positive value. For the second quadrant, only sine have positive value. On the third quadrant, only tangent will have positive value. On the fourth quadrant, only cos will have positive value. Okay, next is example questions. Determine the sign, positive or negative, of each of the following trigonometric ratios. Okay, so this time the question only wants you to find the sign, yeah, not the value, but the sign only. Okay, first is sine 150. 150 lies here in between 90 and 180. So it in the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant the value of sine is positive, so this one will become positive. Next is cos 2tan. 2tan is in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, only tangent will have positive value, so this one will become negative. And then tangent 220. 220 lies in the third quadrant. The value of the tangent will become positive. And then sine 330 lies in the fourth quadrant. Only cos will positive, so sine is negative. Cos 300 lies in the fourth quadrant. That means this one will be positive. And then next is to find the value of trigonometric ratios of general angles. You have to change the angles into acute angles. Yeah, let's say you want to find sine 150 degree, you have to change the 150 degree or the trigonometric ratios into trigonometric ratios of acute angle. Okay, I have an example like this. Oh yeah, so first I want to teach you how to use 180 degree and 360 degree as the reference angle. So let's say you have this like an angle in the first quadrant or acute angle, and the angle is 30 degree. The value of the sine 30, we already know the value. The value is half, right? Okay, and then I have another angle which is 150 degree. We already know that 150 degree is in the second quadrant. And let's say we want to find the value of the sine 150 degree. How do you do this? First, you have to decide which reference angles do you want to use. Okay, so for this one, I want to use 180 degree as the reference angles because 150 is very close to 180. Because I use 180, that means the triangle will be like this. I zoom in. Okay, so we have 150 degree before, 150 degrees like this. And if I uh, want to find this angle, it will become 180 minus 150 equals to 30. So I get 30 degree right here. Okay, so I can wait. Okay, um, because we are using 30 degree, we can see that this triangle and this triangle is the same. So I think the value of the sine 150 degree will be opposite over hypotenuse, right? The opposite is 1, the hypotenuse is 2. So the value of the sine 150 degree will become half. Okay, and it's exactly the same with sine 30 degree. So in from this experiment, we can think like, oh, I can change the 150 degree into 30 degree when we use 180 degree as the reference angle. But how do you change it directly from the questions? First, you have to write down the questions like this, sine 150 degree, and then you will convert the 150 degree into 180 degree because 150 is less than 180, so you have to think like, oh, I have to subtract 180 with 30 to get the 150. Okay, and then because 150 degree is in the second quadrant and the value of the sine in the second quadrant is positive, you have to consider that, oh, later the value of the sine of the result will become positive numbers. Yeah, and then because 180 degree is only a reference, you can cross it out, you can ignore it. So you have sine 30 as the final result. You ignore the minus also because minus only to um, make the 180 degree into 150 degree. Okay, so this is how you convert the 150 degree into an acute angle. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Example questions. First one is sine 120 degree. Okay, so the easiest way to solve this type of question is you have to determine the quadrant first. 120 degree is in the second quadrant, and then after you determine the quadrant, you have to determine the sign of the value, whether it is positive or negative. Because it's on the second quadrant, and sign will be positive in the second quadrant, that means this one will become positive. Then, as I told you before, you have to change the 120 degree using the reference. The reference that very close to 120 is 180. So I can change the 120 into 180 minus 60. And then, as I told you before also, the 180 will be ignored. So final result is sine 60. This is how you convert the 120 into acute angle. And then after this, you can use the table. The table for sine 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Like that. And then next is cos 300. 300 lies in the fourth quadrant. Cos in the fourth quadrant will become positive. And then we can use 360 for this one because 300 is very close to 350. 360 minus 60 is 300, so you have to use 60, guys, and then you can ignore the 360. You have cos 60 as the result, and cos 60 is all. Okay, next is this one, tangent 2 to 5. 2 to 5 lies in the third quadrant, tangent in the third quadrant will become positive. And then 2 to 5 is very close to 180, so we will use 180. 180, 1 to become 2 to 5. That means you have to add the 180 by 45 like this. You can ignore the 180, you will have 45, and then 45 equals to 1. And then next is cos 150. 150 lies on the second quadrant. Cos in the second quadrant will become negative. And then you will write on the cos one more time. And this one is 180 minus 30 equal to negative cos 30. And negative cos 30 is negative square root of 3 over 2. Next is sine 270. 270 lies in between of the third and the fourth quadrant. So if you have an angle lies in between, you only have to choose one of them. Yeah, it can be the third or the fourth. It will give you the same result. Let's say I choose the third. Sine in the third quadrant is negative, and then I will change the 270 using 180 as the reference. You can use 180 or 360 for this one, yeah, because 270 lies in the middle. And then this one is plus 90. I can ignore the 180, so I will have sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. And then second means the opposite of the cos. So I think you better find out the value of the cos first. Okay, so let's change the quotient into cos. Yes, let's find the value of the cos. Okay, so this is the second quadrant. Cos in the second quadrant is negative. And then you change the 120 into 180 minus 60. You can ignore the 180, so you change 160. So the final result is negative all. But because it's second, not all, it means second 120 so like the one that I said before, the second is the reverse of the cos. So you only have to reverse the numbers. You have to add one. One is this. Next is cosecant 315. Cosecant is the reverse of the sine. So you better find the value of the sine first of it. Because 315 is in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, the cos will become positive, but the sine will become negative. Sine, for this one, we have to use 360 minus 45. It means negative sine. Ignore the 360, we have 45. And 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Okay, but this is sine, not cosecant. To find the cosecant, 315, you need to flip or reverse the numbers like 2 over square root of 2. Don't forget to rationalize this. So the answer is negative 2 over 2 square root of 2. Because of this, so the answer is negative square root of 2. Okay, let's go back to sine. Sine 180 plus something. 180 plus something means in this quadrant, which is the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, the value of the sine will become negative. And because the 180 is the reference, you can ignore it. So you have sine alpha, negative sine alpha. For this one, cos 360 minus alpha. 360 minus something will become this one, the fourth quadrant. Okay, the angle is in the fourth quadrant. Cos in the fourth quadrant will become positive. You can ignore the 360, so you have positive cos alpha. Okay, so that is how you do it. How to convert the general angle into acute angle using 180 and 360 as the reference angle. Okay, next is using 90 degree and 270 degree as reference angle. Okay, so for this one, it's a little bit complicated, guys. Take a look at this. Let's say I have 30 degree in the first quadrant. The value of the sine 30 degree is 1 over 2. And then next, I have this obtuse angle 150 degree, and I want to find the value of the sine 150 degree. So first, let's create the triangle. For this triangle, because we use 90 degree as the reference, the 150 degree will be changed into 90 plus 60. Because we are focusing on the 60 degree, that means the triangle will become like that. Okay, if the triangle is like that, that means the opposite will be this one, and the hypotenuse will be this one, and this one is the theta. Okay. Okay. Because we already know the value of the sine 150 from the previous experiment, we can tell that the value of the sine 150 is half. But because we are focusing on the 60 degree, um, the sine 60 degree is not the same with the sine 150. So we cannot change the 150 into, sorry, sine 150 into sine 60 in this case. Yeah, it, but we do know that sine 150 degree is half, and also cos 60 degree equals to half. So we can think like, oh, if I use 90 degree as the reference angle, that means the sine will become cos because they give us the same result, right? You cannot force that, oh, I want to use sine. You cannot. Yeah, because we are using 90 degree as the reference angle. So how do you do that? Is you write down the question first, sine 150. Then because we use 90 degree as the reference angle, you can change the 150 like that. Oh yeah, we forgot to find the sign. So the sign of sine 150 in the second quadrant will be positive. And then because we use the 90 degree and we agree that when we use 90 degree the sign has to become cos. So you change the sign into cos. The sign is still positive. The sign is still positive, and you ignore the 90. Or you get cos 60. Cos 60 equals to half. Yeah, that's how you do it when you use 90 degree and 270 degree. So in summarize, uh, when we use 90 degree and 270 degree as reference angle, the sine will change into cos, the cos will change into sine, the tangent will change into cotangent, the cosecant will become secant, secant will become cosecant, and cotangent will become tangent. I will show you how to use the rules in this question. Okay, so as usual, we need to determine the sine first. The sine 120 degree for sine is positive because it's on the second quadrant. And then because we use 90 degree for this one, we have to change. Remember, this one is very complicated, guys. It means we have to change the sign into cos. It's cos 30 degree. And cos 30 degree is square root of 2. Next is 300. 300 lies in the fourth quadrant, so cos in the fourth quadrant will become positive. It means we have to use 270 for this one. 270 plus 30. Okay, maybe you are asking why we have to use 270. You will only use 90 and 270 if the question wants you to do it like this. Yeah, if the question didn't ask you to use 90 and 270, I think you better use 180 and 360. It's easier. Okay, so this one is positive cos. Ignore the rate. The cos will become sine. Of this rule, cos will become sine, and then you ignore the 270. You have 30, and then sine 30 equals to half. Next is 2 to 5. 2 to 5 lies in the third quadrant. Tangent in the third quadrant will become positive, and the tangent will still tangent. You break down the 2 to 5. It will become 270 minus 45 equals to, because we use 270, the tangent will become cotangent. Cotangent of 45. Tangent 45 is the reverse of tangent 45. Tangent 45 equals to 1. It means cotangent is 1 over 1, which is 1. Okay, next is this one. 90 plus alpha lies in the second quadrant. Sign in the second quadrant is positive. And then you can ignore the 90, but because it's 90, you have to change the sign into like this. And then this one is in the fourth quadrant. Tangent in the fourth quadrant is negative because we use 270 degree. That means the tangent has to change into cotangent, and then you ignore the 270. You get negative cotangent alpha. Okay, next is negative angles. Maybe you are wondering why an angles can become negative. Negative is actually only the direction of the rotation. Yeah, if the positive angles, the rotation is anti-clockwise. Negative angles means clockwise. To convert a negative angle into an acute angle, simply add one full rotation 360 degrees to the negative angle. Okay, the idea is just like this. So let's say you have this negative 270 degrees. Negative 270 negative 270 degree will be the same as positive 90 degree. That's the idea. So to make the negative angles into acute angles, you only have to add with 360. That means you will have 90 degree. Okay, next is example question. For this one, find the value of the following trigonometric ratio. Okay, so first we will not determine the sign of the trigonometry ratios, but we have to change the negative angles into positive angles. Okay, so first we will add the negative 300 plus by 360. So you have 50. Okay, so after you get this, you will forget the previous question, yeah, because the questions already changed into sine 60 degree. From 60 degree equals to square root of 3 over 2, and the value is positive. Next is negative 120. For negative 120, first we have to change it into positive 0 plus 360. You have cos 240. If because 240 is not a acute angle, you have to use the previous method. Yeah, 240 is in the third quadrant. Cos in the third quadrant will become negative. And cos, this one I will use 180 as the reference. Means 180 plus 50 equals to negative. You ignore the 180 equals to negative half. So cos negative 120 is negative half. Next is tangent negative 945. I want to add this with 360, but like 3 times. Yeah, 3 times of 360. Okay, you can do this one. So equals to 81. The answer is 135 degree. 135 lies in the second quadrant. Time in the second quadrant will become negative. Then I will use 180 as the reference. So it's 180 minus 45. That means you can ignore the 180. You have times 45 only. And it's equal to negative 1. And the last one is angle greater than 360. Yeah, angle can be greater than 360. Let's say 400, 500, 1000, 1 million. Angles can be very large number also. Yeah, but what is the meaning of angles greater than 360? The meaning is the angles already do a lot of rotations or some rotation. Yeah, so let's say this one, the angles already do one rotation and then added by 270. So 250 plus 270 equals to 500, 630. So the angle for this theta is 630 degrees. And then to convert an angle greater than 360 into an acute angle, simply subtract one full rotation 360 degree from it. Example question, we have sine 420 degree. Because the angle is more than 360 degree, we cannot determine the positive or negative value first, but we have to make this smaller by subtract it with 60. We have around 60, since 60 is square root of 3 of this. How about this one? On this one, we have cos of 540. You minus it with 50. You have cos 180. 180 lies in the second quadrant. Cos in the second quadrant is negative, so you put negative first. And then cos 180 means 180 minus 0, right? So negative cos, you ignore the 180, it will become 0, cos 0 equals to 1. So this one, tangent 1 to 1, 5. I want to minus this with 3 times 350. So you have tangent of 200, no, 135, I guess. So tangent 135 lies in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, the tangent will become negative. Then I will use 180 as the reference. So the tangent will become 45. And tangent 45 is negative 1. There you go, guys. This is the entire chapter of the trigonometric ratios. Hope that you can understand it well. If you cannot, just ask me in the class later. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.